models across our country and beyond and so forth. You're Canadian, Corey, so let's talk about what we're seeing in our country. The federal government has invested $4.4 billion in AI and digital research infrastructure over the past just shy of a decade, since 2016. We now have a Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation. Evan Solomon recently launched this AI task force. How are you seeing this moment right now for Canada? Is our country at a sort of make or break AI crossroads?
I think it's just terrible, to be honest. I'm really disturbed. So, these foundation models, the big frontier models that cost so much to run, there is no way that the industry can find enough money to keep those models on. The number of foundation models that will still be on when the bubble crashes could be as low as zero, and it's certainly not going to be as many as we have now. And the only thing worse than your boss firing you and replacing you with an AI that can't do your job is for that AI to then be switched off,
Hmm.
right? If we're going to get rid of 10,000 civil servants and replace them with AI that is going to be materially worse than them, and then those civil servants exit the job market because they're discouraged or retrain or are otherwise unavailable, and then the frontier models are switched off because these giant American companies can't find suckers to keep giving them hundreds of billions of dollars to keep the lights on, we're going to be in serious trouble. And even if we do keep these models on, which again I think someone's got to explain where the money's going to come from, there's going to be this other problem, which is that Kuzma, the trade agreement that we negotiated with the Americans 5 years ago, that has something called the source code provision. And in that source code provision, there is a prohibition on governments requiring disclosure of algorithms, training data, or source code, right, the underlying code, for products that they procure, which means that we are not allowed to ask the vendor to tell us how the AI works before we replace our civil service with them. Now, Kuzma is up for renegotiation right now. After 5 years, it has to be re-ratified. There is a chance that we could go back to Trump and to our partners in Mexico, who are also, I think, not very fond of this, and say, well, we want that source code chapter struck from the trade agreement if we're going to stick with it. Of course, Trump has already violated that trade agreement because the first part of that trade agreement, the most important part, arguably, is that there shouldn't be any tariffs.
Hmm.
So I don't even know why we would stick to it at all. But that's maybe a different thing we can talk about.
So,